Do this. We've got Raw Novikov's going to be coming on here shortly. This is going to be something that we're going to be doing fairly often. We're doing, oh, hi, Fractal Burrito. We're going to be having Fractal Burrito on here to talk about his amazing techniques. Let's see if we can add him. Let's see if we've got the skills. See. I don't know if it's going to let me add him. Went on a little bit later than I originally planned on doing. If somebody, Fractal, if you could comment, add me, maybe it'll allow me to add you or send a live request. There we go. We're getting Fractal Burrito on here, the amazing. Let's see, we're going live. I'm going to try to do this maybe once every other Friday. Have awesome people like Ron on to talk about the jaw harp and talk about their harping. How are you doing? How's the great out yonder?
I'm pretty chilling. I'm just hanging out here.
Oh, nice. Have things gotten any better up that way?
I mean, no, it's pretty much the same. It's pretty all right.
Yeah. Oh, hey, we got people joining in. Hello, wave at them, wave at them. Yeah, I'm gonna try to every other Friday maybe have somebody on talking about techniques. So thank you so much for joining the Friday Night Jaw Harp Live.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I got some. I laid out my the harps I'm working with right now. Let me see.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't even know where to like begin talking about how to play a jaw harp. But I mean, honestly, dude, I mean, I don't know if you've had this experience, but do you find that it's almost more of a like a mental slash like philosophical adventure rather than like a just like a mechanical one?
I think so. I think a lot of well, at least for myself personally, a lot of the deep experiences that I have on the jaw harp have made me. It's pointed out a lot of my flaws in myself. It's made me more compassionate, more courteous of others, more respectful of nature. It makes you feel, or at least me myself, my personal journey. It makes me feel more connected to nature, insects, rocks, whatever. It's a weird journey.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Because it's almost like everything you do is almost a metaphor, isn't it? Like it's the jaw harp is almost like this direct like window into the like an abstract realm of relationships, right? Because you can it's so weird, but it's almost like it applies to everything, right? It's like the lessons you learn playing the jaw harp, it's like you can apply them to everything else in life, right? And that's what art is, right? Like I don't know, because I do visual art a lot
I've
also,
seen some
right?
of your drawing. It's really good.
Thanks. Yeah. And I find it's the exact same lessons. They're totally applicable to both realms. Like people think art is, like a painting is art, right? Um, I don't think so. I don't think a painting is art. I think art is like how you do something. So, let's say, I don't know, like let's say you're hungry, right? You want to make some food. So you could throw like a hot pocket in a microwave, right? And then there you have it. You can eat it. But that's not art. What is that? Or you could, put like your care into crafting this, meal, right? Like as you go along, like taste it. You'd be like, oh, it needs more salt, right? Add more salt, right? And in the end, you have this thing you're proud of, right? And so that's culinary art, right? So like, what's the difference between these two things? Because in the end, you both have like food either way, right? But what a difference, right?
It's almost like the journey is more important than the destination. I don't know if you've ever been hiking out in the mountains. To get up to somewhere high is really cool, but it's like the journey was more. The destination is just you're there.
Yeah, right, exactly. So that's kind of what jaw harp taught me. So I would say to have an experience you're looking for with playing this, and this is something special, and I don't know if this is unique to the jaw harp. I think probably not. You can have this like flow experience with anything, but it's such a direct experience with this because it's so tied to your body, right? I mean, it is your body, right? Um, to have this experience, like it is the observation of the process, right? Like of the present moment. So here is how I found, um, here's a way I found to kind of almost like an on ramp to this experience. So you start playing, and you all you have to do is just like strike it. And um, if you're a beginner, you're at first you're just exploring the mechanics of it, right? Oh, how do I hold this, right? How do I make these sounds? But that doesn't take too long to kind of get a hang of, here's how you play this thing, right? And once you do that, then you can kind of explore like the vibration itself, right? So here's what I do. I strike it, and I feel the vibration. I just feel what it feels like in my body. And if you've done any kind of meditation, you kind of learn how to pay attention to like the subtle sensations in your body. And this is trippy. So there's actually a sensation happening everywhere in your body. Your whole body has sensations happening right now, but your brain is kind of ignoring majority of them. But you can learn how to kind of focus your mind to pay more attention to the sensations, right? And so what I do when I play the jaw harp is, first thing, you kind of just really focus and kind of zoom in, like literally zoom in on the subtlety of the vibration you're feeling, right? And that is the on ramp, that once you kind of start like really paying attention, you're already not like hearing you more, you're already like in the vibration. Jamie, do you have this
Yeah,
experience?
yeah, and I've noticed when you play, you find a lot of the subtleties that I'm not able to find, and you highlight them. I don't know how you. Oh, hey, somebody else joined. Hey, hi, hello, Big Mac. But yes, I really like that. I'm loving hearing sort of your philosophy about it.
Yeah, it's really tricky because uh I get a lot of compliments from people like hearing me play, and it's cool. It's a cool experience hearing it, but playing it is something totally else, right? Because it's like an out of body experience, right? Do you experience this where like when you're really in this like trance state, it's like you don't have a body, right? Like you're in this like other realm. You're like
Well,
traveling through a thing.
for me, it's very psychedelic, and every time it's really different. People ask me, why do your eyes roll back in your head? I'm like, well, it's kind of hard to explain. Sometimes it's all visual now, that I've been getting more into it. I've been hearing things. Sometimes it's like almost like dropping down a hole, and I'll hear the sound get longer, and everything will elongate, and then sometimes I'll disappear into nothing. Sometimes it's just rivers of flowing light and just things that are not describable. But it's psychedelic, but not in like a not like taking a drug. Like I've never reacted awesome to psychedelics, but I really love the instrument. That, and also I got some frame drums too, and rattles, and just
Hmm. Yeah, it's really special, and like this is not exclusive to the jaw harp. I believe you can probably have a similar kind of experience with any instrument. Like mess around with like guitar, and you can kind of get to a state where, um, and oh, this is like a sidetrack. Um, Playing guitar, you can kind of like play like someone's song, right, and be like, oh, I need to play this chord and then that chord, right, and just kind of like go through that, right? But that's a totally different experience to the process of channeling music, right? And that's when it's like you're not even choosing what's happening. It's like it's flowing through your body, right? It's like this entity that exists on its own, like moving through you, right? And you're just allowing it to happen, right?
well, I had a lesson from Henry Galerpin this week. He's a jazz musician and also a death metal musician. Really knows music. He was teaching me how to construct rhythms. He made a good point about the jaw harp. He said one thing, like all your Western music. Well, most of your Western music is in that 4/4 time. That 1 2 1 2 or 1 2 3 4. He's breaking it down into like 1 2 1 2.
Uh-huh.
But he said a lot of people play like a more of a world type rhythm, whereas like your I don't know if you're familiar with what a waltz is. 1 2 3 1
Mm-hmm.
2 3. If you combine both of them, 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3.
Uh-huh.
That is a really common thing in the jaw harp. And he was saying, well, maybe that's because the jaw harp is such a reductionist instrument. It's so simple that people are more easily able to do complex rhythms because there's
Mm-hmm.
not all this other things to worry about. I think that's why it's so easy to get lost in, because not only do you have these vibrations being introduced into your jawbone right up into your brain, it's also breath. Because I've had some kind of transcendental, oh, hey, we got more people joining. I've had some kind of transcendental experiences just off of breathing. So I think it's tied to the vibration, it's tied to the breathing. It's just a very unique instrument because it's so reductionist, kind of like a drum.
Mm-hmm.
A drum's really a simple instrument, but if you've ever heard, you remember what was that guy's name at the festival who played the drum?
Yeah, I don't know his name. I know what you're talking about.
A
Yeah,
drum's a simple instrument, but what he did was truly moving to watch him play the drum, and he was having
yeah,
an
it was
experience like
amazing.
these simple, ancient. The jaw harp may go back 10,000 years or more. They don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Kinwald was saying that like Susap may date back to Stone Age times, because like even the people of Papua New Guinea have these, and these aren't preserved well in fossil records because they just break down, as well as bone instruments.
Right.
But there's something about the ancient reductionist instruments. I don't know if I'm using reductionist
Yeah,
correctly.
yeah, no, you're right, because it's pure, right? It's like there's no, I mean, there's nothing. It's just the vibration, right? It's almost like you're working with the vibration like directly, right? Um,
Yeah,
and it feels so good because it's like, um, I don't know, like personally, I don't like I find kind of trouble if I'm working with like an instrument and there's like buttons or something, or like a specific thing you have to do, right? And it's kind of like almost, I don't know, daunting, right? Uh, this was so just like beautiful to approach in the beginning because it's like, um, here it is, right? It's just a piece of metal, and like the instrument is your body, really, right? It's like the instrument is not the jaw harp, so. So yeah, let me just like play a little something, kind of demonstrate what I mean with like zooming in on subtlety. And and this is kind of what I mentioned with the guitar, right? I think, or this is in my experience, when I play and you kind of catch like a little, like you're trying to do something, right? If you're like, oh, I'm gonna do like dan 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 dan, right? That's when it kind of stops being real to me. Then in that point, you're like trying to do something, and it's no longer this pure flow through your body. And that's what I try to get to, is when um, you like, I mean, what are you, right? But you're like not even there. You're like out of the way. You're not choosing what's happening. It's like it is playing itself. Um,
sometimes
and
it's like it's happening to you.
yeah, right. You're just like almost observing, and it's almost not even up to you what the music is, and it's almost more up to the jaw harp itself, because every jaw harp kind of wants to be played a little bit differently, right? Kind of like, do you find that?
I think I'm a weird dude. I think that they have kind of a soul, but in
Yeah.
a weird way. And I've never been into super religious hugis or whatever, but I like, since I started playing jaw harps, I think that insects have souls, rocks have souls, trees have souls. I don't know.
Hmm.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like actually, that I've discovered that through playing jaw harp also. I didn't necessarily believe in that beforehand. Now I'm completely immersed in that understanding. I totally believe jaw harps have souls of their own, and it's a matter of allowing them to be themselves and not like forcing a jaw harp like to play how you want it to play, but just like allowing it to play how it wants to be played, right? Because it has a soul, right?
I found that it's nice to, or I have a better experience if I kind of like humble myself before because if I get caught up in ego, where I'm supposed to be doing this or I'm supposed to be doing that, I can't lose myself in it.
Yeah, totally. You have to just get out of the way and like let go of trying to control it, because that's where all the like richness of it is. It will, if you let go of trying to control it and just get out of the way and just allow, like, surrender your body to the vibration, it will take you on a journey. It will take you on this beautiful, beautiful journey. Um, and of course, the hard part is these mental blocks, because we kind of naturally want to like categorize things and control things, right? So it's kind of hard, but over time you kind of break those barriers and you know let go more and more. Um, okay, I just want to play a jaw harp now for a little bit.
Oh
Let
yes,
me play.
absolutely. We'd love to hear you play. Beautiful. Be sure everybody to follow Fractal Burrito. Yeah, you were doing something that I like to do. That going, I like to go up and go down. I kind of just drift around slowly to find all the subtlety. But there's a lot of things in there you were doing where I'm like, I'm not even sure exactly how he's doing that. I love that. It sounded
Yeah.
like you were doing almost like some percussives down. Were they in the throat?
I don't even know my anatomy that well. I don't know what muscles exist there, but I can feel them. I like a lot of like I mean, it's almost pointless to try to categorize what kind of muscles you're using, but my experience of doing it, when you kind of zoom in on the vibration, initially you're just like are really aware of the shape of like inside your body, right? And you can just, and it's like a weird shape, right? And it's like everything passed through like your teeth down to almost like here somewhere, and I can feel them, and I can move these like muscles all throughout here, and I don't know what they are, but it's kind of like after a couple of the first few seconds, because you're still like in your body, you're still like here physically like trying to do something, but then once you kind of like let go and you're in the vibration, it's like a fully like abstract out of body experience, right? And I it's weird, the better I get at like let's say drawing, the better I get at playing the jaw harp, and like vice versa. It's trippy because it's yeah, like I said, same lessons. Like have you heard of principles of design in
I
visual
have
art?
not. Is
Okay,
that a
so
book or?
no, this is okay, so here's what it is. So there's something called elements of art, which is like just these like raw visual tools, like you can make a line, right, or a shape or color, right? So these very raw things, and you use those tools to create what they call principles of design, which are like contrast or balance or emphasis, right, or a pattern, right? So and these are it's pretty interesting that we found those things in art. They're almost like these pure things humans enjoy, at least in like visual art. But I think it applies to everything, right? Like, you ever thought of, what is balance? Like, what is that? It's
I,
tricky.
I don't know. I think each individual circumstance or moment in time has its own balance, I think.
Yeah, right. It's there for every experience. Like I think the most like direct experience of it is if you just pick up a stick, right? And you feel it on one end, you're like, oh, it's all balanced. Kind of move your finger around, and eventually you find the balance point, and the stick balances, right? And I don't know what that is, but you feel it, like you feel the balance, right? And you know where you're a little off, right? And I mean, same with like cooking, right? You're like, oh, this needs more salt, and then, oh, too much salt. What is that? Like, balance of this like single spectrum of a quality, right?
That's interesting you say that, because like you said, feel around. That's the same thing. It seems like you're going on the harp, you're going up and you're feeling around. Kind of like
Yeah, yeah.
what my dad taught me before he died, when he cooked, because he did a lot of improvisational hillbilly cooking. And if you don't have all the ingredients, you improvise. You can. He taught me you can smell what you're cooking, and then you can smell the spices you have. And if it smells like it'll work, it probably will. If it smells like it won't work, it won't. But it's that same feeling around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And so it feels like with the jaw harp, you can explore the realm like directly, right, through your body, and it's so beautiful. And I, if I'm being honest, I really, I dislike how some people play. Like the melodic style, right, of like jaw harp playing. I think that's straight up like a wrong way to play the jaw harp. I think that's something for another instrument, because you're trying to almost play like notes or something, right? Um, and I mean, it's cool that it's possible with the jaw harp, but it's almost like it's not like made for it. It's almost like it's not good at it, right? You kind of have to put a lot of effort into it, and it's all kind of weak. Like, with guitar, it's very easy to do those notes, and that's kind of what it's made for, right? And it feels like with the jaw harp, it's all about this, unbound, not categorical kind of experience, right? Traveling through this abstract realm. And so I feel like, at least in my experience, zooming in on it, um, the best kind of experience you're going to have playing a jaw harp is totally letting go of any kind of attempt at doing anything, any kind of idea, right? And just allowing you to do it. Um, and yeah, that's how I play. That's how I play the jaw harps.
Well,
And
it's so awesome we're talking about this. Nobody ever talks about, trance or meditation or deep experiences on the jaw harp. And I've had a lot of people tell me, well, you shouldn't talk about that. And in a way, they might be right, because they said, well, you're going to flavor other people's experience. But also, I think people should be aware that you can go places on the jaw. Like you can have a deep, unique, personal experience on the harp.
yeah,
Like it's like a lot of the times after I get done playing, like not only will the stress, because sometimes my job's really stressful, and sometimes you'll work your butt off all day long and feel like a failure. And at the end of the day, it helps relieve that stress, but it also points, or sometimes to me, it points back out where I failed, not so much at work, but how I've treated people at work. Because a lot of the times when I teach people how to do heating and air, or I'll be working over the top of them, I'm not kind all the time. And a lot of times during my meditation, it shows me how I haven't been kind. But
yeah,
it draws back to that same, people go down to South America and experience ayahuasca. They get kind of that same experience of, these are your flaws. These are things you need to work on. But, you don't have to travel to the middle of the jungle or risk, an experience you can't reverse 8
yeah,
hours. The jaw harp, it's a benign experience for me, but
yeah,
really, really good.
yeah. I totally agree. Like it kind of teaches you the similar kind of lessons, psychedelic states can teach you, but in a much more like gentle, way, right? Where
Using
it,
your own body.
yeah, yeah, you can achieve those states in a sober state, and that's amazing. I think, yeah, playing jaw harp definitely got me farthest out of like just like being here while being sober. It's very interesting, and it's kind of, I know it's weird. It's weird people don't discuss that aspect of it, because it feels like to me that's its strength. That's kind of like what the instrument is for. Because it, if you're trying to do like, oh, let me play these notes, it's not that good at it. It's there's better instruments for that, right? Um, but when you're trying to like have that like out of body exploration kind of experience, it's almost like the best tool for that, right? Like that's its strength. So I think people should uh, almost approach it as a spiritual experience, right? I mean, that's how I approach it. And
this is
Sure.
kind of what I do is I'll spend, say, the first part of my practice just practicing specific things that I'm not good at that I need to work at, and then when it's time for me to meditate, a lot of times I'll shut the lights off and just let it go.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. Yeah, shutting lights off really helps. Another little tip, definitely close your eyes every time. I think you actually can't really play the jaw harp if you have your eyes open. Um, I don't see how that would be even possible, honestly, because it's all about kind of like leaving your body. You know, you kind of want to have uh, um, you want to have all that kind of sensory input as far out of the way as possible, so nothing, kind of keeps you in the way, right? So definitely close your eyes. Um, I find even taking my shoes off really helps. Um, being kind of, being actually grounded and not feeling any kind of physical discomfort. Um, yeah, lights down, all those things for sure. Quiet environment.
What I like to do, like not necessarily before I practice, because my practice, like I've been doing experimentation with constructing rhythms. That's a definite practice. It's not fun, but it helps me get me outside of the rhythms that I normally do. But like before I meditate, I'll brush my teeth, I'll clean my space I'm going to be meditating in. I'll wash, like you said, you take off your shoes. I'll wash my feet. I don't know. It just feels like it grounds you, and it takes you out of your day. Is like, especially like washing my feet. Like my days are stressful.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm a weird dude.
No, absolutely. Yeah, let me play another harp.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I'm gonna play I think this is definitely my favorite, the
And,
Luginov.
and everybody out there, be sure, this is Fractal Burrito. This is Raw. Be sure to follow him, give him a like, give him a subscribe. He's not only a fantastic player, but an awesome individual. Got to hang out with him at the last festival. This upcoming festival got canceled, but for next year, if there ain't a COVID-20 or if they got a handle on the vaccine, we're going to have the festival. Hopefully, I don't know. These are weird times. We haven't had a good plague for 102 years, so we were due.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the next festival too. That was
But
really cool because
we've also
oh,
we've also discussed doing something called Plucked Up Midwest in the fall. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Like, not so much of a formal festival, but more like a private retreat on an island in Minnesota with harpists and camping. Bring your own beer or whatever, and just
ooh,
get weird with it.
yeah,
But we've talked about that, but that wouldn't be like as family friendly or formal as the festival. But I think it'd be cool to get all the harpists out into nature around a campfire, making music, beating drums, playing harps. But we
ooh,
don't know if that'll happen because I don't
yeah,
know where everybody's going to
okay,
be at the fall. I don't know if people are going to have money to travel.
yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see. I'd love to be there, but yeah, we'll see. I'm not really. I'm probably gonna move to Hawaii once this
Oh,
pandemic is over. I mean, at least I'll try. We'll see. We'll see how it flows.
oh, Hawaii would be beautiful.
Yeah.
I watched a video last night of a guy playing a ka eke eke, which my son has this book on musical instruments around the world, and every night we open a page and mom reads to him about the musical instruments. He has to find them. Then we look up a video of somebody playing them, and the ka eke eke, which I think I'm saying right, was like this gourd. This guy's playing, and he hits the side of it with one hand, hits it with the holding hand, and beats it on the ground. And I was like, whoa, that is so cool.
Dang. Okay. I'm gonna play this. This is the Luginov from Yakutsk.
Nice. I hope you enjoy the Phantom. Oh, sorry, I was commenting. Yes, that is Raw from Fractal Burrito. Be sure to follow him, like him, subscribe him. Do you have a YouTube channel or anything or Facebook you'd like to shout
I do
out?
have. I have a couple of videos on YouTube. Yeah, I have like 3 videos. I think if you just look up jaw harp on YouTube, it's like one of the like first like few things that that comes up. Yeah, but if you look up like jaw harp by the lake, that's a video, or like jaw harp magic in a forest. That's another one.
I think I seen that. Was that playing Cinco?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. It was a trippy video. Anyways, I'm gonna go wrap this up and go put my son to bed. This is Ron. Do you want me to say your last name, or is that okay?
Yeah.
This is Ron Novikov, the great Fractal Burrito. Be sure to follow his Instagram. Check out his jaw harp video by the lake. Thank you so much for coming on, sharing a bit of your philosophy on the jaw harp and your meditation and your trance. Big shout out to all the people who get into meditation, melodic players, rhythmic players, all the musicians, all the beginners out there coming into the jaw harp. It's such an exciting time. Like I have seen in the past month and a half more orders for jaw harps just at theharpery.com, and it's probably across Amazon, across every website is selling jaw harps like crazy. So many people are discovering this awesome instrument, and it is truly exciting.
And because I mean, not anymore because of the pandemic, but I perform a lot. I have a lot of gigs I play at, like little concerts and festivals and stuff, and so I get a lot of people asking me like where to buy jaw harps, and I always recommend the Harpery always because
cool.
Honestly, it's the best place to buy harps if you live in America.
Well, and right now I'm not shipping internationally, so if you're in Europe, there's a lot of good ones. There's Sound for Health out of the UK, guillembardies.fr if you're in France, danmoy.com if you're in Germany, Overton Pro if you're in Russia. Overton Pro is still shipping to the United States, but shipping is 4 to 5
Overton Pro, I think, has probably the best selection, right? But it takes like at least a month, maybe 2 months.
guillembardies.fr has a massive selection, but they're going to be higher. The Overton Pro does keep their prices pretty low.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of good. It doesn't matter to me if somebody buys a harp from me or somebody buys a harp from somewhere else. If you got a
Yeah.
harp in your hands, even if it's from Amazon,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Thing to watch out for on Amazon. I get a lot of people commenting that Amazon sometimes ships their
No
Glasser
fee.
harp with no protection for the trigger. I'm like, oh
Uh,
no, that bends them. But
yeah.
anyways, if anyone out there wants, every Friday, possibly every other Friday, I'm going to be going live. If you're a jaw harp player, beginner or advanced, if you want to be on the live feed, get a hold of me over the Instagram message feed, and we'll get something set up. Thank you so much, Ron Novikov. It was truly mind blowing. I love hearing your philosophy on the jaw harp, and it was
Yeah.
a good experience.
Thank you, man.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll wrap it up. Fractal Burrito, follow him. Love y'all.
Peace.
Peace.